As you can see by the title below, let's talk all things life after the Daniel fast. Like, God is guiding. Shout out to God. The orchestrator, he who knows how to put ABCD together and then just flourish and bring all things to fruition that he has purposed on the tablet of his own heart. Hi guys, and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Iwanoh. I hope you're doing well and doing just like So if you're new here, I post videos on every Wednesday, so you may consider subscribing and turn on your post notifications. And if you're my OGKG, who is part of the Laka family, God, I see you. Shout out to you. And shout out to God too. Most of the content that I create here on the internet is faith-based content and also just showcasing the beauty of living a life that is pleasing before God, you know. So it is a beautiful day. I'm so excited to film this video, and without further ado, let's jump right into the video. I'm going to highlight most of the things that God has done in my life and most of the prominent ones, because there are so many, but I'll just pick out a few things that are quite prominent, more prominent than the others, because if I were to talk about everything, this video would have to be 24 hours long. That is how deep things are. Life after the Daniel fast has landed me to be in a position where I'm in a very great relationship with God. Like, my relationship with God has deepened to a whole new level. My relationship with God has soared so to greater heights than I could have ever thought of. God to me has become much of a friend. You know, he has become a great person to me. Like, I talk to him all the time, every time and any time that I want to talk to God. And he is just being so great. He's being so wonderful. You know, I'm able to hear his voice. And when I pray, God definitely answers me. And I'm just in a state where I'm like, my relationship with God and my intimacy with God, and the more I get to know him, the more I grab of his wonderful nature, the more I want to be encompassed by it, the more I want to be driven by it, the more I want to always be in his presence. God is being God. And you know the term here, when God is being God, what do we say? God is guarding. He is doing what? He is being God. The other thing that has really been so prominent in the life after the Daniel fast is my prayer life. Guys, my prayer life. Like, when I pray about a certain thing with so much faith and enthusiasm and with just the confidence to know that I'm going before my God, he who loves me better than I love myself, he who knows me even everything, he knows my past, he knows my present, and he also knows the future. And I'm just like, God, I am letting you have this thing. You have it. You have it in totality. When I pray about certain things, God is just like, okay, my G, I've heard your request. Let me come to your aid. Like, that is how much my prayer life has gone to a whole new level. I am able to pray the entire time. As the Bible states, praying without ceasing. You know, you're in a relationship with God. You're in a relationship with God. And that relationship, the key to it is communication. You've got to tell him, say, God, this is what I'm doing. Despite him knowing what is happening, you've got to make it known to him to say, God, this is what is happening. This is what is going on. I intend to make ABCD my friend. I want to do ABCD at this time. And she'll just be like, so engaged the whole time, just getting God to be tuned towards whatsoever I am doing, and everything I do has to evolve around the aspect of me being a child of God. That is how beautiful my life has become. The other thing that is so prominent after doing the Daniel fast is allowing God to be God. You know, let me share this thing, okay? It is not all glitz and glams after doing the Daniel fast. You are not going to be a saint. You're not going to be a perfect being, and you're not going to attain a certain perfection that is required of you. But then, I have come to understand and create a relationship with God in such a way that when I fall short of his glory, I'll be able to tell him to say, God, this is what I have done. I am not a perfect being. Take me as I am. When I wrong him, I don't have to go and let my pride cover me in my shame and in my guilt to say, I cannot go before the throne of God and tell him certain things that I want him to hear. When I fall short of the glory of God, when I sin, I let him know to say, God, this is what I've done. I am not perfect, and please perfect me in your perfection. Let your righteousness be the one that has to cleanse me. Let the blood of Christ be the one that has to redeem me from this sinful nature. I want you to wash me the whole time so that I stay in the stature and nature of God the Son and God the Holy Spirit, and just God the Father himself, to have those characteristics of him. I have learned the art of allowing God to be God. Like, let God be the center of your life. Like, I have learned to let him take the wheel all the time. I don't have to perfect things. I don't have to be a perfect being for me to do a certain thing, but just allowing him to be God in my life. I'm allowing God to love me. I'm allowing God to just flourish in different aspects of my life. If he wants the whole me, let him have the whole me, because God is guarding, honestly. Life after the Daniel fast has also taught me the fact that I see myself differently, and what I mean by this is that some time back, I could see myself through the lens of other people's opinions, criticisms, and all the trash that people could talk about me, and also from my own perspective or from my own brain, where I'm like, I'm not qualified for this. I'm not so good at that. I cannot do A, B, C, D. I've learned the art of just seeing myself from the lens off of which God sees me. God sees me as a child who is very much confident, who has everything they ever need to pull them through life. I don't know how best I can express this, but I'll put up something here. Yeah. My mental health is also something that has come to benefit off of the Daniel fast, because guys, I used to be depressed. I used to be depressed. Like, I wouldn't even let anybody in, but of course I would tell my sisters, and I would tell my sister a few things about it, but not the whole thing. So I would be in a very bad state, very, very bad state, but physically I'd be looking so normal. I'm sure we've got to create a whole video about this whole thing. Yeah, because depression and depression and anxiety are things that everybody is going through these days. But it is a thing of the past. It is a thing of the past. And if something is a thing of the past, what do we say? God is guarding. I've also learned the art of just resting in the promises of God. Resting in the promises of God and just let him take charge in everything that he has said. If God has told me to say, wait on this, do A, B, C, D, I want you to leave this place, I want you to go somewhere else. And so, God, so long you say it, you are in my future, you already know everything about me, then you take charge. You take charge. And also, I've just come to a realization that my friendship with God is placing me deliberately in me being able to rest in the promises of God. God says he has a future, he has a plan to prosper us. And I'm just like, I'm resting in that. No matter what happens, I'm going to rest in that. Because living for God is the best thing ever. It's the best thing ever. Of course, you've got to do your own part. You have to be hardworking. You've got to do certain things for God to bring certain things in your own life. So that's an art I have come to learn. The job I landed, like I always talk about all the time, is everything I ever prayed for. Like, my workmates are great people. The people I've come to meet. The art of, those prayers where we say, God, let me meet the right people at the right time, at the right place, in the right dimension, and in the right quantity, and in the right everything. That is what is happening. That is strictly what is happening. And I can't, Honestly, I can't emphasize this more, but yeah, that is how God is just being. That is how awesome my life has been after the Daniel fast. Because most of the things that are happening, I'm sure they are orchestrated by God. Even when I'm going through a bad situation, I'm just like, God, I know you put me, you pull me through, you fix this, you will fix this no matter what happens. So just resting in the promises of God, getting to know God at a whole deeper level, and just getting to live a life as a living sacrifice to God is what has really changed my life. And that is how God has been for me after doing the Daniel fast. And it is for these reasons that the next video is going to be about what fasting is and the effects of fasting, and also just how you can sustain yourself through fasting. So check out for that video. This is all I had to share with you guys. So I'll see you in my next video next week sometime. Yeah.